Is it imported here in app.js, the router?
Var superheroes router require routes superheroes. Yeah.
Okay, and is it mounted here on a route as
Yes.
a middleware?
Yes.
Okay, it's still not working. All right, let's share your screen. Let's look at your screen and see what the problem is.
I think I'm in the right terminal, in the right one for both.
Are you in day 6? Because that's what happened with me the first time. I was doing things in day 4
Yeah,
folder.
day 6 DB app.
Okay.
And where was it? Yeah, day 6 DB app.
Okay. You are getting an error, right? It says unknown column, product name, and field list. So I think you copy pasted something and you have something you're trying to insert in product name or something.
Probably. Well, let me just
Go to your superhero.js.
day 6 DB app. That might actually have been a holdover from when I was working on the test.
Okay. Okay, let's try to make a request then.
Get this when I do this.
Right, but you need to go to your, oh, you're not consuming it from your front-end application as of now?
Well, I have them both open.
Scroll up a little bit. Scroll up. Okay, you started your front-end server in the backend project.
Oh, okay. I have to be in the front end.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
Right, so you do npm start, which is like running the backend server in backend folder, and starting this HTTP server in the front-end folder to run the front-end server. There you go.
So if I just hit refresh, it should work.
There's an error. Let's see. Oh, you have /heroes. Let's remove that. You have /heroes in your URL.
Okay, I don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that. We are doing front end,
Right.
so yeah.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Thanks.
No problem. Yeah, what is it? So that should ideally mean that your JUI is working. Do you see any error in the backend in the terminal? All right, let's look at your screen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. Bad request. Right. Let's go to network. Let's see if there's any more detail. You click on the network tab. Yes. Click on the heroes thing. the hero's request. Yeah. Okay, let's read that. It says error validating request body, name is required, age is required, image URL is required. And it's saying something is not allowed, whatever we have sent. Right, let's go to the backend. Yeah. So I need to check your validator. Superhero.js. Yeah. Object, name, age, image URL. Go back to your front end network tab. Click on headers. You know, on the left side of response. Yes, yes. Scroll down. Scroll down more. Yeah. Okay, we have form data. Looks fine. You see on the right side of form data, there's this button that says view source. Yeah, click on that. Yeah. That looks fine. Let's go back to your.
The name of post request is different from the const for the validation.
All right, let's go back. Superhero.js in the backend.
Yeah, because it's validation schema joy, and in the post request, it's only validation schema. The body validation schema is not, it's different from the cost validation schema joy. It's different.
No, that's fine, I think.
It's okay for that part.
On line 16, there's dash joy in the name. Yeah.
It's equals.
Is that an equals?
Fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think it's not okay.
Open up the terminal for backend, wherever you have the terminal for your backend. Simply gives 404. Okay, show me the error again, please, on the front end on the front end network. Yeah, click on response. Error validating request body, name is required, age is required, image URL is required. Okay, we are sending an object, but that's exactly what we have defined. Right, let me check on, can you please zip this project and send it to me? Yeah, Manny, do you have question?
Yeah, I can't get the front end to work. I keep on getting the Express page.
Right. So it must be the same thing. You are running the front end server in the backend project. You need to run the front end server in the front end project. Right. So we have our front end and our
So I have
backend
node.
as entirely two different projects.
So I have one node and two nodes. One of them has, okay, so get and post works on my one of them. The other one, I did HTTP server -c-1.
In which folder did you do it?
In the front end folder.
Oh, okay. And you still get Express?
And when I click on the my local's IP 127, I get Express. Welcome to Express.
That's super weird. All right, share your screen. Let's see.
Where is it? The share. Oh my God, seriously. Oh.
All right. Oh, I saw your screen, but then it's gone.
Yeah, I want to share my screen, not just the share 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm sharing the screen. Do you see it? Why not?
Yeah. Yes.
You see the whole screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my get and post the backend.
Right.
Right. And my post and get works, as you can see here.
Yeah.
This should be the backend. Heroes DB app front end HTTP server. That's what I did.
Yep. Looks fine.
Right. And if I just on this.
Okay, I see the problem. Pay attention on left-hand side and look that your front end is actually inside the DB app.
Oh, okay.
Whereas these are supposed to be two sibling projects. So DB app and front end are supposed to be side by side.
Okay, so I could just do this. Can I move it?
Yeah, maybe at the bottom.
Oops.
Back there. Yeah.
Move. Okay, so now it's on. Okay, so
Not yet. You got some error. It said unable to move front end. I think that's because you have a server running. Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Okay,
now run the front end. Oh no, you have to go into the new front end folder, right? Because right now you're still inside DB app / front end. That should do the trick.
Come on. No, I think I still got that. Let me just do it manually. So 127, 80, Express.
Ooh, that's super weird.
Something
okay,
else?
you got an error, I guess. Go back on the front end.
Oh yeah, here 404 not found. I haven't even.
Oh, that's for Favicon. That's fine. That's a depreciation. That fines too.
Okay. Oh, because it does not exist. No, that's not it. Let's get stuck in.
Do a PWD.
Day 6 heroes.
Yeah, looks fine.
Yeah.
Run it again. Okay, refresh this page.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Right, so we have received the project here. I am going to start sharing now, desktop 1. I'm going to open this up. Day 4. Yeah, that's good. So I'm just going to do npm install, npm start. Okay, that's weird. Debug console request out body. Why is this acting like a key? Okay, if you see request.body does not look like what we would expect. We are just expecting this. but it's actually inside another object. And this is working as a key. And further, there's this empty string as a value, right? I have removed the validation for now. So the problem is the way we are receiving data. So the issue must be the way we are sending the data from the front end. So this is your GET request. This is your POST request, right? Oh, you're sending JSON string. Yeah, you're not supposed to stringify it from the front end. I think when you are stringifying it, that's what's causing the issue. So if we just, you have name, age, image URL, book object. So I'm just gonna use this book object. Oh, you know what? Stringify to put it in alert is fine. But when you're sending the data, you should send the JSON itself. Do this, terminal. Right, let's make sure front end refreshes. Add a hero. Okay, this looks fine, right? Now this is what we were expecting in request.body, the entire object. So let's bring back the validator, right? Restart the server. And now let's try add, all good. Okay, so now our validation has been successful. That's the reason we are even able to reach this code. So we're just gonna play this and that's it, it's working. It says done. Yeah, so the only issue is on the front end. Back end is fine. No problem. Shut this down. All right, anyone else facing any issue, any doubt, any question? Right, if not, let's take our lunch break. And when we are back, we will, let's see where we are at. Right, so we have done parameter validation using JUI, right? We have discussed middlewares. We are left with query params and the difference of when we need to use which kind of query, which kind of parameters, right? So let's get back by 12 to 20 p.m. Right? See you guys in 30 minutes.
Akash,
Yeah, go ahead.
can I have just a question for 1-2 minutes?
Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, I try because I switched back to Linux. I tried to run my exam, which
Mhm.
was working fine.
Mhm.
For that, I was asking. I did exactly just to regenerate the node modules.
Mhm.
Then I'm trying to run it,
Mhm.
but it's module not found.
Can you
So
send me the entire, or okay, can you share your screen? We can have a look.
yeah. I think this one. You can see.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the error.
It is module not found. Yeah. Let's read the entire thing. Can you scroll up for me, please?
Yeah.
Because we need to know what module it's trying to find, which it did not find. All right. So you see, it says error : cannot find module ... /db.
DP. Okay. Okay.
Right. And it also gives you the file. The file it's happening is in product.js.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right. So let's
Maybe the folder's not there. Yeah. It's my fault. Okay.
db dot, yeah, db dot, you don't have the file db.js entirely, right? Or
I
or
think
the
because
folder.
when it's this, I just create a new one. But
Okay.
before even with DB, it was throwing, I think, something there. But yeah, should be work fine now. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. So we have done two kind of parameters so far, right? We have seen two ways of sending dynamic data in an API request, right? The first way that we saw, let me check if I'm recording. Right. So the first way of sending data to an API we saw was by, route parameters, right? In which we say heroes/1, right? Or heroes/2. So we send a parameter here, right? In the URL itself, right? Which fetches that hero, with a specific hero ID. The second way of sending data we have seen is when we make a put or a post request and we send the data in the body object here, raw JSON, right? Those are body parameters, right? Now we are going to look at the third way of sending data, which is query parameter, right? So in Postman, you're going to see params here. These are query params if you pay attention here, right? And let's say we want to fetch all the heroes, but with age 30, right? So we have Batgirl, we have Electra, Batgirl 2, Batgirl 2 again, Batgirl 2 one more time, and so on, right? So what we can do is we can say, hey, we want age equals 30 years, right? And you're gonna see as I am changing values here, it's automatically updating the URL for us. Query parameters are always after a question mark, right? So this is not a route parameter. This is a query parameter, right? This is after a question mark. There can only be one route parameter. Um, there can be more than one, but there cannot be multiple route parameters, right? Whereas query parameters, you can add as many things as you want, right? You can add name, bad girl. If you have more stuff, you can keep adding all of that information, and it's gonna keep adding to the URL, right? So for now, we are only gonna use age, right? I'm gonna remove this, remove this. So we want all the heroes with age 30, right? Now we are not gonna create an entirely new API for this. We're going to use the same API to get all heroes and use this. So we're going to say, hey, if this query parameter is not here, you fetch me all the heroes. And if I pass you this query parameter, you just, give me all the heroes, but with age 30, right? So this works pretty well if have filters on your website, or if you need to show heroes of a specific category, age, or something. You do not have to create API every time. You can use the same API and apply some filters here, right? So age 30. So let's see how we get this information in the backend. All right. So I'm simply going to put a breakpoint here, right? And I'm going to send a request. And let's see, in the request object, right? Where is it? Right, there you go. In query key, we have an object which has age 30, right? So if it's body parameters, you get in request.body. If it's query parameters, you get in body.query. And if it's route parameters, you get it in the variable name that you provide in the route, right? So if you want to fetch the age, it's going to be 30 years, right? And now we simply need to update our select query to accommodate this value here, right? So we know we may or may not get age in query parameters. It's optional, right? So we are going to do request dot if request dot query and request dot query dot age, right? If we get all both of these values, right? then what we want to do is we need to update our select query. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to a constant string, SQL string equals select star from superheroes. And if I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to append to it the where condition. Where age equals and request.query.age here, right? So this is going to update our query string, right? So if we have age, we are going to put the where condition for the age and save. Let's make the call. Oh, some issue here. Yeah,
You add a
this should
space.
be.
You need to add a space before where. Because when
Oh,
it
yeah.
ends it, it's going to be one whole word.
Yeah, you're right. So that's that. SQL string. Right, there you go. Now we have one, two, how many values? A few values, but now we have all the heroes that have age 30. Right, age 30. So on. Right, and if you simply remove this, if you don't want to put this filter on your API, you can make a regular call, and this time you're gonna get all the heroes, right? Because now when we make the call, this is gonna be false because request.query is going to be, empty object, and so this is gonna be false. It's not gonna go in there, and your SQL string is simply gonna be select star from superheroes, right? Any questions or any doubts here? Right, so now we have three kind of parameters. Um, Parameters in a route like this, right? This is a route parameter, and you get the value in the variable name that you provide here, right? We have body parameters, the way we used that here, request.body, right? And then we have query parameters, which we get in request.query, right, in here. Someone said how to type symbol before where. Oh, that's a backtick. If you're talking about this is a backtick. This is on the left side of one, right, with tilde, right? On your keyboard, you have tilde on the top left beside the number key one, right? This is called a backtick. This is not a single quote. Right? Any questions or any doubts regarding parameters? Yes, yes, you can. So if you do that, you're simply gonna um, add age here, 30 years, right? And name. So we have bad girl to a lot, right? So maybe we can search for this, and you're gonna see it automatically is appended in the URL for you. So if you're making this request from the front end, from your front end application, you would have to generate the URL something like this, right? Make sure you understand how this is generated. It's key equals value, then and then key equals value, right? And if you add something else, same thing. It's gonna be an ampersand, and then key equals value. Yeah, so you can keep adding these values, and if you do, you're gonna get it in request.query.name. right? Whatever you pass here. You can add as many query params as you want. Um, so it depends. Do you want to have this query? So, like if you do this, are you expecting that the front end would always send you age and name together? Or do you want to create an API where you would say, hey, the person should be able to query only with age, only with name, or with both together? So if you want to make sure that you always get age and name, then you can put it in here in this if condition. If not, then you would have to have a separate if condition. No problem. All right. Now, let's try to do this same thing on your test project, all right? Let's try to add query parameters in your test project. So your home assignment for today is going to be to add query parameter search for your test one project and doing JOI validation on the query params, right? We have done JOI validation on body parameters. It's very similar to add JOI validation on query parameters as well, right? But that's something I'm going to leave for you guys to do from home. Or maybe you can do that right now as well, if you want. Let me know whenever you're done with this.
So the if statement, it first checks if there's a query and then checks if there's a query age.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do you need both?
Okay, if I do. Okay, I'm just doing this so that if, let's say there's nothing in query parameter, it doesn't throw me an error if I'm checking this directly. Otherwise, it's going to say, hey, you are trying to find age on undefined if this turns out to be
Okay, so
undefined.
it'll throw an error if it doesn't have the, all right.
Exactly. Now, I'm not sure. Maybe the request, if this is empty, then it would not throw an error. Now, I don't know if you don't send a query param, what exactly the request object creates. So you may be able to get away without using this. I'm not sure. But this is like a safety net where I'm like, oh, if it's not there, at least don't throw me an error. I'm fine if you are not able to find age here.
All right.
It's an optional thing.
Okay.
So someone asked me, can you please explain about wireframes for tomorrow? Maybe you can show us how it have to look. Sure. All right, so let's discuss project. All right, so if you're so that people, whoever gets done with all of this, maybe they can leave earlier a bit. Project. Everyone, please pay attention. Please stop typing. Please listen to this. So you can pick a project of your own topic. All right. I feel like you guys are definitely at a stage where maybe you would like to do something, some idea you had in your mind, right? When I was a student, one thing I hated was, creating projects and then just dumping them, 2 days after the course was done, right? So this time, maybe you can make a small MVP, a minimum viable product of any idea you have, anything maybe you would like to grow eventually, and practice on free time, or maybe even show to your potential employers when you're applying for jobs, right? Anyway, you can pick your topic, you can pick what project is going to be, all right? Now, as a teacher, the problem that comes with this kind of freedom is evaluation, because not everyone would be doing the same thing. It's important for me that the evaluation is fair, right? For that, I have to make sure that the scope of your project is just right. Okay, so that if you are planning to less, I would be able to say, hey, if you do this, even if everything's good, I won't be able to give you 100% because this is not enough, right? Or the other way around, right? Maybe you are too ambitious, you have planned too much to get done within a few days, all right? So I'll tell you, hey, happy to see that, but you might face difficulty achieving all of this, all right? And maybe I'll say, hey, do this in phase one, do this in phase two, and so on. Anyway, the goal of having a scope validation is to make sure that your project is not too huge or too small, right? It's just somewhere in between. And so that you could also understand my expectations in terms of how much work I'm expecting, right? Now, how are we going to do this scope verification? We are going to do it using wireframes, all right? Have you guys ever done wireframes? Wireframes, mockups, anything before in any project?
Nope, not wireframes.
Not wireframes. All right. So it's no rocket science. It's something very simple. Um, l- let's say let's say if you are my friend and we are drinking on Friday night, and after having a few drinks, you come up with this, $1 billion idea, right? And some people also call this um, napkin evaluation or something like this, right? And you start drawing and like, oh, you know what? This is what we are going to have. This is going to be our first screen. This is going to be our second screen, and so on. So it's basically sketches, very rough sketches of what your project is going to be, right? The same technique is used if, let's say you have to show some concept or some idea to a client of yours, right? Let's say I own a restaurant, I come to you and I say, hey, can you please make me a website? And you just don't go start building the website. You create wireframes or mockups first, right? And you show them, hey, this is what I was thinking. You're going to have 3 pages. First page is going to have this. Second page would have this, this kind of content, and so on. Now, wireframes do not have to look good, right? The idea is to be able to see the functionality and not the design, right? Now, how do you create a wireframe? You can create a wireframe simply on paper and pencil, right? You can take a pen, a notebook, and you can draw your screens, right, with hand. You can take a tablet, iPad with a pencil or with a hand or whatever. You can draw things, or you can erase them. You just need to show me all the screens that you are going to have, and show me, just explain me what kind of functionality you would be trying to achieve on those pages. Now, if you want to go more sophisticated, you have tools like Balsamic and Figma and so on. I mean, even more sophisticated would be, Photoshop and XD and all of that. Those would be more like mockups. Um, Now, I'm not expecting you guys to spend more than 2 hours on this at all. Right? There's something wrong if you're spending more than 2 hours on this. Right? Ideally, once you have the idea, once you know what you want, it shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes or 1 hour to have the wireframes, right? But at any cost, do not spend more than 2 hours, right? This is not gonna be evaluated. I mean, even if your mockups wireframes look, you know, ready to be dumped, or even if it looks super beautiful, it's gonna have no impact on your evaluation. All right? Does that make things clear? Any questions? Any doubts? Someone said, do we have to add user registration authentication to our project? Depends. It depends what kind of project you are doing. But when you are showing me your, mockups, your idea, you can discuss that with me one-on-one. I would be discussing your wireframes one-on-one with you, all right, at the end of the class. So if you're already done with it, maybe I can discuss it with you at the end of the class today, right? If you would be done by tomorrow, I'll discuss it with you by tomorrow, and so on, right? But we are going to have a one-on-one discussion to discuss the scope of your project. We won't be spending more than 5 minutes on it, though, right? It's going to be, and it's not a presentation or anything, so you don't have to be prepared. Just show me your mockups, tell me very casually what you are planning to build, and that's it. Okay, so someone said, and it have to have 20 APIs, right? Yes, that's a very rough estimate for me to tell you my expectations, right? I just don't want anyone to come with fetch heroes, create heroes, all right, and edit heroes and say, okay, this is my final project, right? This was to give you guys an estimate about what scope at minimum I'm expecting. I've also mentioned that there should be at least 3 APIs of each kind, but I'm pretty flexible on that depending on your project. Okay, someone said, when is our final exam? It's gonna be on the last day of your class. All right, it's gonna be on Thursday. All right, someone said, could you show us some examples of wireframes? Sure. I can create one right now in front of you guys to show you how quick it is, right? My tool of choice would be Balsamic, but again, it doesn't have to be Balsamic. It could be anything, right? It says your company email, but I'm pretty sure you can use your John Abbott email here and it's going to work fine. It's going to give you a 30-day trial, which is going to be good enough. So you won't have to pay for it. Okay. Start trial. You know what? I'm going to use Akash.Hotra John Abbott.qc.ca. Start trial. All right. Oh, all right. Quickly gonna sign up. All right, check your email. Let me just verify my email quickly. Okay. It's been verified. Now I'm gonna log in. Akash. All right, so this is Balsamic. I'm gonna create a space. All right, just name it anything. All right, then I'm gonna create my first project. All right, this is not a tool which is gonna take you time to learn. All right, simply browser window, you drag and drop, right? And you click here, you can make the window bigger, right? And you know, you can get a label from here, right? List of superheroes, right? Copy paste it a few times. Right, so just name something here. Electra, something, right? And then maybe you would like to have a button which right, which would say refresh list, right? Where you can change the size from here, 18 pixels, bold. And if you want to create a menu, you just simply take this, right? Create a menu on this side, rent a hero. Create a hero, right? So again, this is just a rough sketch, and then you can have multiple pages. Let's say one for rent a hero, one for create a hero, and so on, right? Again, a very rough representation, and this does not mean that this is what it would look like when you create the application. When you are creating it, you can make it look, you know, way more beautiful. You can select this, move this here if you want, right? It's just to give me and yourself an idea of what features you would be building, right? And how much time it would be taking, how much time it would take to build those features. And again, doesn't have to be Balsamic. You can use Figma, you can use Paper Pencil, you can use iPad, anything you want, right? I can do the same thing on iPad. Let's say go there, simply go here, right? Open a page, draw a window, right? And say, hey, this is here. It's going to be list of heroes, right? It would be nice if you have a better handwriting than mine.
Anything.
Sorry, say that again.
Cannot see.
Oh, that's weird. Give me a second. Yeah, it's not updating. Oh, there you go. So you can say list of heroes, then, you're gonna show list of heroes here. Second, third, you're gonna have the button here, which is gonna say refresh, right? And then let's say you're gonna have a menu here, right? I mean, it would be nice if the lines are relatively more straight and more readable text, but I think you get the idea here, right? And you can say here, rent a hero, create a hero, right? So that when we have our discussion, you could simply say, hey, I'm gonna have a link, rent a hero. When you click on it, you're gonna show me other page, right? You're gonna have another page here, and you're gonna say, all right, this is, rent a hero page, right? And you're gonna show me here the image of Batman, right? And you're gonna show me it's $50 a day, and then you're gonna have a button here which says rent. Let's say, right? Again, just a rough diagram, and it could be by any means, right? Paper, pen, iPad, anything, right? And trust me, if I can create this, you definitely can, right? With this kind of drawing skills, if I can create this, anyone can, right? Is it clear enough, guys? Give me a yes if you understand what needs to be delivered for the scope, right? Give me a yes if you understand um, how to do this, if you understand what needs to be delivered for the scope of the project. Okay, 10 people, I'm gonna clear this. All right, does it look easy or am I oversimplifying it? Is it easy to do? Yeah, okay. I think 2 students have already submitted. I can check quickly. Assignments. Yeah, I have 2 submissions. Let me just quickly have a look and see if it's worth showing you guys. Yeah, this is perfect, right? So I have received 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 images, right? It's daycare reservation project, right? So this is gonna be a homepage. Let's say again, I just need an idea. It doesn't have to be nice pictures, it doesn't have to be well formatted, but I get an idea that okay, there's gonna be a homepage, right? No API call here, I guess. Some basic formatting saying how awesome we are, right? And this is another image, right? Where you can add a child, um, parent name, age, and all of that stuff, register a child, right? Um, and then there's another image here where you can add parents, first name, last name, address, city, postal code, register, right? And then it says report, where you might be showing some um, pie charts and all of that. Now, this might be a little out of scope. I think this is going to be a decent amount of work for you on the front end. So yeah, I mean, you can always say, hey, I'm going to finish these 4 things, and this is something I'm going to try to finish. I would be okay with that too, right? If I say, hey, these 4 things in itself is good enough for the project, and we can keep this thing optional, let's say, right? And anyway, that's a lot of work on the front end, right? And then registration, I think this is attendance, or I don't know what exactly it is, but this seems like it's created in Balsamiq too, right? So this would be one example. You can send me images, you can send me a PDF file, or any format that I could pretty much access, right? Someone said final project. Do you have any previous project? No, I don't have any previous project that I could show you with APIs. Right. Any other questions, guys? Any doubts regarding the project? When do you have your next classes starting? Do you have a course starting right after this one, or do you have a break and is it starting on Monday?
Friday class for mobile.
Friday. All right. Do you guys want to take an extra day? Maybe submit it by Friday?
I think we can see it Wednesday or Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday. Wow. Yeah, that would be amazing. Oh, you mean tomorrow?
We can check if we need the time, additional time.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. Let me know if you guys need more time. I'd be okay extending the time for you guys. All right, someone said Friday is a holiday, so we start mobile from next Wednesday. Wow, okay, yeah, you have a lot of time.
Is it Wednesday or Tuesday? It's Monday and Friday and Monday that are
Yeah,
holidays.
it's Friday. It's my mistake. I forgot about holidays. Sorry. It's Tuesday, I think, not Monday. We will start Tuesday.
Okay, so let's ruin your holidays, right? Let's ruin it and let's keep the deadline on Monday morning, right? How does that sound?
Perfect.
All right. Okay, this would give you guys the weekend and it won't be too much stress for you guys, right? So I'll actually change it right now. Right, project. Gonna change the deadline to, I'm gonna do Monday. All right, Monday end of the day, right? Just to be on the safe side. There you go, updated. So this gives you guys weekend to work on it. All right. Any other questions regarding project?
Is there a requirement for user authorization for validation?
No, there's no specific requirement that you have to do it. If you want to do it, if it's a requirement for your project, you can do it. But if you're making a general purpose website, which does not need any kind of sign in or registration, I'd be okay without login, sign up, and all of that stuff.
Okay.
To take your idea, okay. The answer is yes. Right? But my personal suggestion just would be try to create something that you guys could actually, post online, actually deploy it, and show it later on to potential employers, right? So that whenever you send your resume later on, you're able to send a link of your project where you could say, hey, this is the GitHub link to my project, and this is where I've hosted it if you want to have a look, right? Because trust me, if I'm interviewing someone, I do not have the time to, download your project, set it up, and then have a look at it, right? So if you send me a GitHub link and if you send me a link where the project is deployed, the likelihood of me checking your project is way higher, right? Because I'm quickly gonna go into the code. I'm gonna see if you write your code well, if your project is well commented, if your project is well written, and I'm gonna go to the actual project to actually see what you have built, right? Um, don't forget, those people get like a lot of resumes that they have to filter every day, and you have to make their life easier, right? When you are sending your profiles. Okay.
Could you show us how to deploy Express.js?
Yes, that's something we would do.
Okay.
Right. There are two major things that we're going to do. One is handling errors. You know how I think you asked that question where you were saying, hey, we are throwing errors, but how do we manage those errors? So we're going to look at that common error handler for all of our requests. And someone else asked that question too, that JOI is throwing an error, but how do I display that error on the front end, right? And the second thing is deployment. I think most likely we would use Heroku for that. It's you know, relatively straightforward. So yeah, we would do the deployment part too. All right. So if everything's good, there's one more thing we need to discuss, which is that we have done three kind of parameters, right? We have done route params, right? Which looks something like this, /heroes /ID, right? Colon ID, right? Then we have body parameters, right? In which, okay, let's say this is a GET request. And then we have body parameters, where if you are sending a post request, a put request, or so on, you can actually send an entire object in the body with parameters, right? And the third one is query parameters, right? Query params. Now, so let's say if you're making a GET request, right? /heroes question mark, then you can have age equals, you know, some value, and then ampersand, right? This is what divides two or more params, and then you can have name if you want, right? And you can have the name value here. Let's say Batman, right? Now, the important question is which one to use when, right? How do I decide if the parameters that I have to use is a route param, a body param, or a query param? Any guesses? Anyone wants to take a stab at it? Any rough guesses? Let's talk about route params first. When would you use route parameters? Feel free to take a guess. No one? Not even a single person?
Updating single record, let's say.
A single record, right? Whenever you are dealing with a single record, right? It could be getting a single record if it's a GET request. It could be updating a single record if it's a PUT request, and so on, right? One special characteristic of route parameters is that you have to provide this value, right? It's mandatory to provide this value if you want that handler to work. If you want that route to work, you have to provide heroes / some value for this GET request to be able to work, right? Which is not the case with query params, if you remember, right? We made query params optional, right? So you should use query params where it's an optional thing, where you're like, hey, if you send me ID, I'm going to search by ID. If you don't send me ID, I'm going to send you everything, right? So filter kind of scenarios, right? Query params is more suited in filtering scenarios, right? When you want to provide the option to the user, um, you know, to provide a value. It's an optional thing where you can say, hey, if you provide it, I would use it. If you don't provide it, it's fine, right? My get heroes request is gonna work fine even if you do not provide this. All right. And body parameters, you would see these parameters are used in put request, post request, right? Patch request, right? Where you actually have to send data to usually create or edit things, right? Now, this is the convention. Is it possible to do the filtering thing in body parameters? Technically, it's possible, but conventionally not suggested, right? Conventionally not suggested. Right. Any questions or any doubts here? Can I mix and match? Can I use route parameters with body parameters? Can I do that? Give me a yes if you think we can use route parameters with body parameters, right? Give me a yes if you think in one single API, I can use route parameter and body parameter at the same time. 1, 2, right? One person. Just one person? Oh, you guys are not gonna like it. It's not that we can do it, we have already done it,
Put
right?
request.
Put request, right? When we create a put request, let me show it to you guys. Oh, I have a put request here. Here, put request, superhero ID. So this is a route parameter, right? But at the same time, we did send body parameters too, right? So this route parameter tells us which superhero needs to be modified, and body parameters tells us what data needs to be modified, right? What superhero needs to be modified, and body tells us what data needs to be modified, right? Because when we do where ID, we use parameters here, right? This param here. And what data needs to be updated, all of that was in body, right? So it's not one or the another. It could be used together too, right? Um, yeah, nice observation there. All right, any questions or any doubts? Someone asked, but can we use together route parameters and query params? Um, Technically, it's possible, but it's less seen. It's not as common as using route parameters and body parameters together, right? But it can be used. It's very possible, right? One example could be if I want you to send me, let's say, superhero/1, and in here let's say I want to give you all the keys that I want, and say keys, and in the value here, let's say I would say, hey, send me name, right? This could be an array. I can say, hey, send me name and send me age. That's it. Just send me 2 fields. All right. So in this case, I have used a route parameter here, and I have used query parameter here to say, hey, send me only name and age. Don't send me ID, don't send me image URL, and don't send me created at. Right? Just a hypothetical example. Right? Any questions or any doubts here? All right, so let's see where we are at. Query parameters are done. We have done the difference too. So we are good for today. We are going to spend rest of the time to review the wireframes that I've received, right? So I'll be doing one-on-one calls with people who have already um, submitted the wireframes. And you guys, if you have any question, let me know. And you can work on your home assignment if you want. And you can also try to have query params, JOI on query parameters as well on your test project. Right? Yeah. You do not have params option in Postman. It has to be a GET request. You don't have this option? That's weird. Might be something in settings. That's super weird.
For me,
All right.
beside the bar that we have the URL, it's beside
Here?
the send and in right, yes.
Might be because of the version. Here, okay. Yeah, might be different versions.
I have an error in the query param.
Yeah. What does it say?
It says error through unknown. Actually, I'm providing the name of the product name, actually, but it mentioned unknown column in where clause, but
Okay.
unknown pattern. Let's say the pattern is what I'm looking for. So unknown column pattern in where clause.
Okay, so yeah, I think I would have to look at your screen for that. I'm gonna stop sharing. Why don't you share your screen? I'm gonna have a look.
Okay.
Gonna stop recording here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, just a minute. Why? So if I share this, just a minute, I have to stop. Actually.
Sure.
Because of, okay, okay.
Sorry, in the meanwhile, does the column name say case sensitive?
Yes. Column names are always case sensitive. I think pretty much in every database.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, this is what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's say if I did the request for all products.
Yeah, works fine.
I will try to find this.
Okay.
And this is what I have here.
Okay.
Okay. So when I send, no, I already it's a switch. I think I didn't install it. Not here. Okay. That's fine. And let's do it again. That's fine. And when I'm select
yeah,
I have this error.
Okay, it says unknown column butter in where clause, right?
Yeah.
So it thinks that you are asking for something in that column. You are providing butter as a column, right? So why don't we debug? Okay, let's see. Select star date format this as days to expire. Right. Can you scroll on the right side a little bit so that I'm able to read the SQL query from products? All right. Scroll on left, please. Right. Where product name equals request dot query dot product name. Okay, all right. It looks fine, but we are definitely missing something silly. So let's start a debugger. Let's see what actually is the SQL string that's being created.
I have to put it here.
Yeah, yeah,
this.
that's good enough. And you would need to stop your server from here. I think it already, okay, it's
Stop.
already stopped. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to package.json.
Yeah, I don't think I have debugger here. So.
It's all right. Let's add that script, or you can actually even just start the project. Click on debug above line number 5. Yeah. Yes. Click here. Click on start.
Missing a
Just
code.
the first thing.
It's missing a code.
Oh, in that file.
The select.
All right. Let's open up product.js. I think Manny already found the problem.
This has come here. I can close it.
You can drag it on the left side. You see those dots.
This.
On left, yeah. You can drag it wherever you want. Yeah. Click on products.js. Right. Where, Manny?
No, I think he mentioned I'm missing something in debugger.
Right. Let's go to package.json again then.
Package.json again.
Yeah. Let's start.
It's already started here.
Oh, okay. You already started. All right. Sorry. So yeah, let's make the call from Postman, because it would stop the debugger at the breakpoint when we call it. Yeah, let's make the call here. Yeah. All right, stops here, all good. Let's do a next.
This one,
the
right?
second button, yes, step over. Right, it goes inside, which is good. Let's do next again. Right, hover on SQL string now. Let's see what exactly is the string that's going.
This.
No, SQL string on line number 15, where we are passing SQL string, the variable SQL string. Yeah, here, exactly. So it said select star, comma, date format this as expiry date, date diff as this.
Just a minute. I want to see it better.
Oh, if that's what you want, you can actually click on debug console.
Debug console?
Yeah, right beside the terminal. You see where you have terminal?
This one?
There's no on the right side. It's okay, very difficult to point. On okay, vertically at this height, but on left side. Exactly, yes. And at the bottom, you can actually type in SQL string.
Here?
Just type in SQL. Your cursor is already there. Just yes,
okay.
yes.
SQL?
Just type in SQL string, your variable name, capital S. Right,
okay.
enter. It's gonna give you the entire thing.
Pattern, it's weird. What this belong? Yeah. No. Okay. So this should be inside quotation, double quotation or no? Or this is okay as it is?
I think it needs to be in quotation.
Yeah.
So you can use single quotes around it actually. On line number, yes, on line number 13, around that.
This one?
Yes, yes.
Like this?
Right. Yeah. just save and let's retry. You would have to restart your server, right? Because we didn't run it using Nodemon. We used
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, on the top right, you see that green arrow that's like circular in the debugger point where, yes,
This
yes.
one?
Yeah, this is going to restart it for you and it's automatically going to connect the debugger too. You might have to release that breakpoint first.
Which one?
You see that first button, that play sign, that play symbol? Yeah,
This
you
one?
would have to, yes.
I have to click.
Yeah, you would have to release the breakpoint. Now restart
Okay.
the server. Oh, it closed everything. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, you can start with npm start if you want.
All right. Run.
Yeah, no, this is good. npm run start and npm start is the same thing.
Okay. Let's come here. I think everything is fine.
Yeah. Let's hover on SQL string once again, just to make sure we are getting what we want. Right, that looks right.
Okay.
Just click on that play button. Continue, yes. There you go. I think it worked. Let's go to Postman. Let's check. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just quotation mark that was missing.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
That's fine.
In
Thank
my
you.
case, it didn't cause any problem because it was age. It was a number, right? So there weren't supposed to be any quotations around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Anyone else facing any other issue? Anything you want to discuss?
So just I want to confirm to be clear about the project requirements, let's say.
Yeah.
You're asking for at least 3 APIs for each, for let's say 3 for get, 3 for put, 3 for post, 3 for delete. But then you're asking for minimum of 20.
Yes.
So,
Okay, these are relatively, these are rough numbers. If you have, I don't know, total 25 APIs, but you have only 2 delete APIs, I'm not going to deduct any marks for that, right? Because I understand that your project did not require maybe, 3 delete APIs, so you didn't create it, right? The goal of saying that was just so that people don't run away from a certain kind of API, right? I don't want you to come up with 20 get APIs and say, all right, 20 APIs it is, right? That would be a problem, right? So it's just that I want to see about approximately 20 APIs and, of different types. I don't want to see all the get requests and all the post requests, right? It should be different kind of APIs. That's it.
and just to broaden our choices, because whatever I'm thinking that it's require authentication, let's say, and login and all this. We can do like an idea, but now we don't provide the login, let's say, part. But maybe for the future, let's say, releases, we can add that one. But for now,
Yeah.
we will not put it, even if it, let's say, as an idea somehow. For sure, it requires login.
Yeah. In that case, I would suggest you that you do not create the sign up functionality and all of that, but you should create the sign-in page, even if you have to hard code a username and password, so that all
Okay.
of your other pages are at least hidden behind that username and password. Make
Okay.
sense? Yeah,
Okay.
because in that case, I would understand that you have done the main functionality, but you plan to do, log in and sign up maybe later on.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Um, can you show me your front end code, please? Privilege. Can you please send me your project? I think I would have to look at a few more things. It's gonna be a little tedious to ask you to do to move here and there. Can you please package this and just send it to me? No problem.
For the homework for today,
Yeah.
it is on the test that we did on Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
And what's the homework?
So in the test that you did on Friday, you have to add query parameters to the get all query, and then you also have to validate those query parameters using JOI.
Okay.
Right? Add query parameters to that one API where you were getting all the products, and add JOI validation to that one API as well.
Okay. Is there anything else in the class?
No, that's it.
Okay. Any
I will-
in class activities, tasks? No.
No, we're good for today. If you want, I would suggest you to have a look at Heroku. That's something I'm pretty sure you would find interesting to deploy your Express application. Although I'm going to do it in the class, I think you would learn way more if you read the documentation, if you look at the different ways that are possible to use to deploy the application.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so this is just for searching a hero. So you search first and then edit. Is that right? Okay, got it. So find hero, search. Okay, so all the magic is happening here. It's I think it's the same issue. It's not getting added as a string. So you need to have quotations around it, and that's it. Because if we go in element, yeah. Okay, so you see, first of all, what's happening? It's giving Black Panther, but because there is a space in between, it's not treating it as, one element. So what you need to do is you need to have quotation here. So a single quote here and a single quote here, and that should do the trick. Edit hero, search ID 3. Oh, didn't refresh. I think I have to restart the server. There you go. No problem.